All right, we're going to start going over the next section, and it's 6.3b, geometric sequence, and we'll get you set up, ready to go. Okay? Here we go. Make sure you're taking notes because we're going to take a grade pretty soon on that. So this is 6.3b, geometric sequence. And we're going to get this going on. Here's an example of a geometric sequence. Okay, it's different than arithmetic sequence. And we've gone over this one before, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. If you can think back, this is the same sequence that we used when we dealt with growing bacteria, when we dealt with doubling pennies every day. So this is basically what we just graphed just a few days ago. Okay, and so when we put it in a sequence, we call it a geometric sequence. When we graph it, of course, we call it an exponential function. Okay, and so we're going to, for this one, we're not going to have a common difference, because difference basically means subtraction. We're going to have a common ratio, and ratio basically means division or multiplication in this case. So here's the new explicit formula. AN equals A1, that means the first term, times the common ratio, and then n minus 1 is n as a power. So here's the old one for the arithmetic sequence. Okay, we still have the n minus 1, but it's in a different place. Okay, so keep these, and when we take a test, I'm going to let you write these down on your scratch paper so you can remember all the details. So I'm going to just start going over some of these and show you kind of how to do this and show you how to do the common ratio. Okay, so if you need to see more time, you can of course stop this and move on. I'm going to take this off. Okay, so we're basically going to set this up, and I'm going to kind of use this sequence to kind of predict the future, and then we'll go to, so we have something in notes, and then we can go to one of your worksheet ones. Okay, so I want to find the next three. Okay, so to find the next three here, I need to find the common ratio. So the formula to find the common ratio is R is going to equal A2 divided by A1. Okay, that's why it's called a ratio. All right, so I'm going to find the common ratio here. A2 divided by A1. And that's going to simplify to 2. So your common ratio is 2. All right, now we're going to find the explicit formula. So AN equals A1 times the common ratio n minus 1. Okay. Now we can't simplify this. It is what it is, okay? Because we have to do the exponents first. So if you want to, you can put this in parentheses. You can do all kinds of stuff. But just know that you have to do this part first. Okay, so not a lot to it. It's just simple substitution. All right, so now let's find the 12th term. So I want to know what n equals, what the 12th term is going to be. I don't want to go all the way out. I guess I could figure, we forgot to figure this out, didn't we? So if R is 2, that means I'm multiplying everything by 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. So we put it in the calculator, 32 times 2 is 64. 64 times 2 is 128. 128 times 2 is 256, and so forth and so forth. All right, back here, we're going to predict it. So that's 2 times 2, and then we're going to put 12 minus 1. And I don't want to put that in the calculator because that seems hard, so I'll do 2 times 2 to the 11th. And you can just put that straight up in your calculator, and if you have a scientific, it will do it correctly. If you have a negative number, And so I would go ahead, if you have a negative number, you would have to do this. So I'd go ahead and put it in there, just like this. Oops. Every time, just so you get used to having that negative number. And so then we put that in there, and we get 496. So A12 equals 4096. So that's how you do it. Let's go ahead and look at number 1 on your worksheet. All right, number 1 on your worksheet. Determine if the sequence is geometric. If it is, find the common ratio and the 3 terms in the next. Okay, so it's 4, 8, 16, 32. I need to find the common ratio. 8 divided by 4, and it is 2. Okay, 2 times 4 is 8. Well, this looks a lot like the pattern we just did. So that would be 64, and so it's 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. 32 times 2 is 64. 128. And 256. All right, so it basically started at a different place on our last sequence, but basically the same thing. Okay, it doesn't ask for our explicit formula. Let's do 2. Okay, it is negative 4, negative 20, negative 100, negative 500. All right, so let's find the common ratio. That's negative 20 divided by negative 4, and that is going to be positive 5. Let's see if it works. 4 times 5, negative 4 times 5 is going to be negative 20. Negative 20 times 5 is negative 100. Negative 100 times 5 is negative 500. So you can just kind of keep that going with your calculator. Okay. Gets pretty high. But that's basically all you do to come up with the next 3 terms. Okay. So let's go to the harder stuff. All right, let's see here. Let me scroll this down here. Because I have the worksheet up just like you do. I just don't have a copy because, well, in 2021, we had about 18 inches of snow out, so no one's going anywhere. Okay, determine if the sequence is geometric, and this is 9. This is 9. Determine if the sequence is geometric. If it is, find the common ratio, the 8th term, and the explicit formula. We're going to, of course, come up with the formula first to be able to find the 8th term. So here are my numbers. Okay. And I rely heavily on formulas for this, so you don't have to do it in your head. So negative 18, take the second one divided by the first one, and that's going to be our common ratio, and that's going to be 9, positive 9. Let's test it. Oh, that's a 3. I was like, that's not right. It's not going to be right. So this is going to be a positive 6. There we go. So 3 times 6 is 18. Okay, negative 18, we'll start here, so you can kind of see how to do it. Times 6, 108, times 6, 648. So it doesn't really take very much effort. And so this one definitely is, so we need to come up with our explicit formula here. So that is going to be negative 3, so AN equals A1, negative 3, times our common ratio, N minus 1. Okay, and then we need to come up with, we're crooked. We need to come up with something, what is it? The 8th term. So we need to find A to the 8. So that's negative 3 times 6, 8 minus 1. So negative 3 times 6 to the 7th. Okay, this is a little different. Let's see how it works. All right, negative 3 times 6 to the 7th power. And I'm going to just get in the habit of doing that. Just because if there's a negative, you have to put it in parentheses or it will give you the wrong answer. All right, there we go. That's going to be your answer, negative 839,808. Okay, so you just put that here, A8. And yeah, they're going to be big. That's what we learned when we graphed. Okay, moving on. Let's see if there's another one that I would want to do. I like 13. And by I mean, I like 13. It looks like 13 is a little harder because it's going to flip-flop. But I guess it's probably not harder if I just have to do these formulas. Okay, so negative 12 divided by 2. For second one divided by 2, that's going to be a negative 6. Okay, then. So that is our common ratio right there, negative 6. So let's test it. 2 times negative 6. All right. 2 times negative 6 is 12. Times negative 6 is 72. Times negative 6 is, okay. So it's definitely geometric. And because it's negative, that's what flips it from positive to negative. So let's see how this is going to work with a recursive formula. All right. Let's see here. We are going to do first number. That's 2 times parentheses negative 6 n minus 1. This is very, very important. Okay, we're trying to find the 8th term again. So an equals 2 times negative 6 in, 8 minus 1. And so this is going to be 2 times negative 6, 7. Now I'm going to show you what happens when you do it wrong. Okay, 2 times negative 6 to the 7th. So this will give me the wrong answer. So I'll get negative 5, 5, 9, 8, 7, 2. That is wrong. Let's do it the right way. 2 times parentheses negative 6 and put 7 there, and let's see what we get this time. Ooh, it actually was able to do it. That's impressive. So I guess that is the right answer. So you don't have to be careful on this one because of the multiplication first. I would always experiment on that because the calculator is not consistent. It just depends on what you type in. So it does end up being this either way. Okay, if we do this without the number in front, like if we just do this, okay, we get that answer. If we do it like this, we get a different answer. Okay, and the difference is kind of the negative. Okay, and so just be careful. And I think the reason why we were able to do this way is because we had an odd number of exponents, which means it's going to be a negative answer. If this was even, that's when this would be wrong. Okay? So just put the parentheses there if you don't understand what I'm saying especially, and then it'll make sure you get it right. All right, that's it for this video. And so there'll be a short video tomorrow, and then a short video the day after that, and then hopefully we'll be back in school. All right, bye. Yeah, taking me forever to shut it off. Bye.